You're listening to The Bird Bath. Welcome back to The Bird Bath. Each week we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it. Our top story this week is the American College of Veterinary Radiology, the ACVR, and the European College of Veterinary Diagnostic Imaging have put out their position statement on artificial intelligence. They published it in JAVMA, so I'm going to make sure that I link that because it's really important to go through and read all of the things that were said here. But the big thing that comes from the abstract here, and I'm going to quote a bit of it because I want to make sure that I'm not getting too abstract. The statement here that they said is that the ACVR and the ECVDI recognize the transformative potential of AI in veterinary diagnostic imaging and radiation oncology. This position statement outlines the guiding principles for the ethical development and integration of AI technologies to ensure patient safety and clinical effectiveness. The statement goes on to highlight that the colleges are not anti-AI, but in favor of different rollouts and ways that AI is being utilized or transparent and supported through diagnostic imaging. Now, the key concerns from what I saw here from what they were saying were that they feel that there are no current AI tools in the veterinary space that have the transparency, clinical validation, and post-implementation oversight. They're worried that these standards of what they want to see in the space are not currently being held, and also that the potential non-disclosure of AI use and lack of clinical oversight could pose difficulty and risks, both legal and safety risks, for patients as well as for the practitioners. The big roles or the big things that these colleges want to see is that they want to make sure that veterinarians are fully in the loop. Again, this is something we've talked about with all AI tools. I always just tell people, we're not asking you to hand a scalpel to a computer. These are tools that people need to be engaged in and working with to be able to understand what they are guiding them on. These are not, AI tools should not be practicing medicine, and I think the ACVR as well as their European counterparts did a great job of following up on that. They also stressed that they wanted good machine learning practices and medical device transparency guidelines to be handled. Now, a lot of these are things that have been piecemealed from other groups and different organizations and different standards, and we're on a new frontier. AI is happening and coming very quickly, and a lot of specialty and specialists are seeing a transformative move in the way that their specialties are being approached. AI is fundamentally changing the way that people view radiology. It's giving a quick and initial glance at what could be happening in some of these images that are being shot. And it's key to be able to figure out sort of what's going on and how to look at it. Now, the end of this statement with 11 recommendations, they said artificial intelligence systems should be developed in accordance with good machine learning practices, as we talked about, right? They want peer-reviewed research on the clinical utility of AI systems. They want that agencies that fund this sort of work to be able to help continue the support and evaluation. They want more research on these things. They really want the universities and the different colleges to be able to establish basic AI education within their curricula to better support future graduates. Because, as we've talked about here, AI is going to play a role in future veterinarians' business. They want transparency. They're looking for ways to sort of standardize the disclosure to the owners about when AI is being utilized in a diagnostic roles. And they're calling on regulatory bodies to sort of step up and ask for ways and guidelines and certifications to make sure that AI tools that are being used in practice are being done so with the best care and best quality of medicine. So all in all, it's definitely an interesting one. It's a report that I know a lot of people were waiting to hear from for quite a while. It was something that had been talked about. And the bottom line is that you're always going, or my bottom line, I guess, is that you're always going to be pushing this dance or this balance between regulation and innovation. The two have a very difficult time of coalescing without one overstepping the other. And I think the question here is, do we slow the pace of AI innovation in order to find and allow regulation to catch up, which is a question for all AI, or do we continue to push forward and understand that the people that are utilizing these AI tools and practices are extremely intelligent, highly trained individuals that just need additional training and understanding of what the tools that they're now implementing and utilizing can bring to them. So great report. I'll make sure that I link it here. It's available through JAVMA, and kudos and thank you to everyone that took all of that time to put it together. Hill's Pet Nutrition has some new leaders or new promotions and appointments for leaders across their organization. Dr. Karen Shenoy, who we've had on the show a couple times and is a great friend of the show, someone that I've always thought really highly of and really enjoyed chatting with, has been promoted to Vice President and Chief Veterinarian for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, or as a lot of people call it, EMEA. So Dr. Shenoy has had a pretty cool career. We've known each other for a little while, but I hadn't really dug into the background here. But Dr. Shenoy joined Hills in 2008 and has been through a lot of different roles, which I'm going on a tangent here, but I think it's cool for people that are in practice and maybe are looking at jobs in industry and wondering where things go. But Dr. Shenoy grew from field sales and engagement director. She was the associate director of veterinary affairs. She was the senior manager of academic affairs. She held a lot of different field-based roles. And she's also super active in the industry, right? She's a member and mentor for WILMA, which is the Women in Leadership Management and Animal Health organization. She served on the board for the Veterinary Innovation Council. She's on the board for Diversified Veterinary Medicine Coalition and for the AVMA's Food Safety Advisory Committee. So Dr. Shenoy is moving into that role at the beginning of April. And really excited to see what she does. She's always an absolute delight to have. So congratulations on the new role. And Dr. Chelsea Esty will be taking over for Dr. Shenoy as the Chief Veterinary Officer for Hills US. Dr. Esty comes from outside the Hills family as the Vice President of U.S. Pet Care at Parnell, after also having a really great career at Elanco. So, Dr. Esty, tell your PR team to get ready because we're going to have you on the bird bath as well. Congratulations to both of these incredible doctors for these new roles, and to Hills for continuing to advance some really incredible people through their organization. Now, through advancing people through these types of organizations to an advancement in the food itself, JustFoodForDogs has introduced Just Fresh, which they're calling a revolutionary, shelf-stable, fresh pet food innovation. I like all of those splashy words. The really cool thing here, just to boil it down, is that this is a shelf-stable, fresh food that's available in resealable pouches. So the really interesting thing, if you've dug into fresh food, is you kind of can get it one of two ways. You can get it from expensive grocery store cabinets that are refrigerated and are difficult for grocery stores to be able to vie for that additional space, not just in a pet food aisle, but also in a powered and refrigerated and restocking and less shelf stable situation. Or you were getting it delivered, which there's a mountain of those. There's Farmer's Dog, there's Nom Nom, there's one called Nosh. There's all kinds of things. Come up with a funny pet word and you'll be able to find a pet food delivered under it. But now JustFoodForDogs is available on the shelf, which really, really changes the opportunity for people looking to feed fresh food. JustFoodForDogs is really expanding their retail space. They're expecting to have it in 6 retail banners across 1,500 stores in April. All the data and all the numbers that people are seeing around fresh food is definitely a major increase. There's been a 30% increase in dollar sales in retail channels, and it's outpaced and outgrown the traditional dried dog food at just 2.4%. during the same time frame. So people are diverting their spend to fresh food, and Just Food for Dogs is on the forefront there of capitalizing it. Some future projections from Technovia indicates that the fresh pet food market in the US will grow by $3.2 billion in the next 5 years. So it is a big space, and it's a big space as well where we're seeing that intersection of pet care and vet care. A lot of you probably aren't going to Orlando this week for the Global Pet Expo, but it's one that's a massive, larger than the largest veterinary conferences that we have, but it's the largest expo for pet care. And it's huge, and it's in the Orlando Convention Center, which many of you have been to, but you're going to be seeing an even larger footprint of pet care in the space. It's kind of the drum that I've been beating here, but we should expect to see this continued growth. Now, Just Food for Dogs does an incredible job of having a lot of veterinary nutritionists participate with them. I know several of them personally and know that they are truly integrated into what we do. But you do see a lot of companies coming out and introducing new foods. And whether it's, I remember one of our first episodes, we talked about Martha Stewart's food line. And Rachel Ray has one of the fastest growing pet food brands as well. It is coming and it's happening quickly. And it's something that if you want to be part of it on the veterinary side and influence the pet care side, now is the time to speak up and make sure that your voice is heard. Finally, making sure that your voice is heard is key if you are anywhere or if you're trying to grow your new business. Now, the KC Animal Health Corridor Summit is accepting applications for the 2025 emerging companies. So every single year, the KC Animal Health Corridor, which if you haven't dug into it, it's this absolute breadth of incredible businesses in the Kansas City area. And they put in together an incredible summit every single year. This is the 20th year that they're doing it. It's being held August 25th and 26th in Kansas City. And this is that opportunity if you are a newer business to get in front of really impressive investors. They call this the one and only opportunity in the world for early stage companies in animal health, nutrition, diagnostic, and technology sectors to present their vision, business plan, and technology to potential investors. They look at quite a few different companies. It's a really cool pitch competition. It's done at an incredibly high level. They have mentors that guide the teams through this. They really elevate the quality of the presentation that's brought to the stage. So if you are a startup and you're wanting to not just only raise some additional funds through partners at the Corridor Summit, it's also a great way to improve your overall ability to fundraise in general. The selection committee is considering companies that are seeking between $500,000 and $20 million in funding. So nice broad scope there, or strategic partnerships to advance the company's technology. So the goal here is companies that have a revenue projection of $20 million within the next 5 to 7 years. Application deadline is coming up. They're due by April 1st, which is just 1 week away. And I'm going to make sure that I put the link in the bio. It's always something that I really find interesting. I always enjoy a good startup pitch competition. And I think that the one at the KC Animal Health Corridor Summit is one of the top to be a participant in, to get in front of some really intelligent and incredible investors. So make sure to check that out. And for more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to our Substack. There's a link in the bio, and don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. For the Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.